Guys, I'm super excited to announce a new series on the channel called Anime Talks. So this is just going to be a cool, fun series on the channel where we're going to be talking about anything and everything anime related, going down to movies, new episodes, new stuff that's going on in the anime community. We'll be talking about it here in Anime Talks, so stay tuned because we got a lot to cover today. Let's go!
I keep on working, got purpose and worth. Music's my cure and this world is my purse. Get rid of this curse with every verse. Of course I've been hurt, but some have been much worse. Leave me alone, get out of my head, block out the opinions.
So in this episode of Anime Talks, we're going to be talking about the new movie that came out, My Hero Academia, Your Next Movie. Now this movie came out about, I think it was October 11th internationally. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it came out at least a month ago. I watched it a couple weeks ago and decided to do just a movie review on it because I thought, why not? It was actually a pretty decent movie. Overall, I thought it was a pretty decent movie, but we'll break it down as we go along in the episode. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Did you think it was a good movie, and where would you rank it amongst all of the other, I believe it's 4 or 5 movies that we have out for My Hero at the minute?
All Might would never act so carelessly!
Alright, so we'll start off with the story. Let's break down the story, the plot real quick. So basically, the plot is this new villain arises. His name's Valdo Guhini or something like that, and he basically sets out to be the next All Might. He watches some old footage of All Might versus One for All, and the part where All Might points to the camera and says, "You're next," he takes it as, "I'm gonna be the next All Might, I'm gonna be his successor, blah 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 blah," and then this starts to get all power hungry and stuff like that, and basically seeks out a girl that has quirk enhancing abilities, or her quirk is quirk enhancing abilities, and basically uses her to enhance his quirk, which can manipulate matter into what he wants. So he starts manipulating Earth and covering it with what he envisions his world would look like, and basically the heroes have to stop him before he gets to UA High to try and destroy where All Might first started, which is obviously UA High. And yeah, that's basically the plot of the story. It's not the most convoluted plot. It's a very basic, power hungry guy decides he's gonna go and take over the world type thing. But not gonna lie, the pacing of the movie was pretty well done. I liked it because as soon as you sat down, you got given why the villain is the villain, and then it sends you straight into how the students of UA are doing, Class 1A specifically, and it kind of just flows from there. So it's pretty cool. I like the pacing of it. There was not a time where I started dozing off or I was like, yo, it's time to split or anything like that. I genuinely liked the pacing of the movie, and when it slowed down, it didn't slow down for too long that you start okay, come on, bring a fight scene. Because it's always, okay, when it slows down, you know that they're gonna lead up to a fight the next scene. The part where they were in the tunnel and Midori was on the bike, you knew that by the time they got out the tunnel, it was time for a fight. So you kind of sat up and kind of just kept your concentration because you're like, okay, they could hit the end of that tunnel at any point in time after they finish explaining what they need to explain. So it's like, okay, fair enough. It did keep you, engaged and aware at all times, I would say. Alright, so not gonna lie, guys, I think, me personally, this is just my opinion, you guys have your own, you let me know your individual, ratings for this. But for the plot, and this isn't the overall movie, by the way, this is just for the plot, I'm gonna give the plot a 7.5, because for the story that it is and what it is, and due to it being a My Hero movie, I think it's good enough. I'll give it a 7.5 solid. Definitely. Because it was fast-paced, it kept me engaged all throughout. There wasn't a point in time where I was like, ugh, this is dragging out, like I said. So yeah, 7.5.
Let's see if any among you are worthy of being dubbed protectors.
Alright, to talk about the characters now. So characters. So we have the standard Class 1A, then we got the pro heroes. So I would say Midoriya was pretty good in the movie. He did what he did. He very much surprised me. Now, here's the thing. I have not caught up with My Hero. But when I saw Midoriya just, at the very beginning, after you get the whole story situation with why the villain is a villain, it sends you straight into what the heroes are doing at the minute, like I said before. And when I say Midoriya is so OP now, I can understand why they're ending it, because it's like Midoriya can kind of just do what he wants at this point now. Like, they were all split into 3 teams. You had Team Midoriya, Team Bakugo, Team Todoroki, and yeah, obviously. But Team Midoriya, I don't understand. He didn't need a team. He was in the truck for vibes, because honestly, even after he took out those villains at the very end, like at the end of that scene, and then the rest of the heroes rode up in the truck, the rest of his team rode up in the truck, they even said so to themselves that like, yo, you didn't really need us, like your quirk is amazing, blah 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 blah. Like, they pulled up after Midoriya done the hard work. I was like, alright, cool, let's just arrest him, blah 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 blah. I was thinking to myself, you guys were not needed. You were there for show and tell. Like, honestly guys, like, it makes sense though, because his quirks, yes, multiple quirks, is just broken at this point now. Like, the way he was just dodging, bobbing, weaving, his strength. This is what I say. So there's been the controversy in the My Hero community about Midoriya being, you know, a crybaby and all of that stuff. And that stuff kind of pisses me off, because it's like, yes, he started out being like, you know, like what you guys are saying. But it's like, he has development. Like, there's character development there. You can see from now, and then you look at him in this movie, you're like, okay, he knows how to handle situations. He's not panicking in this situation. He's cool, calm, and collected to the very end. And it's like you understand that. Yes, he's still the soft little Midoriya whenever he's, you know, being bubbly and stuff like that, but that's just him. That is just him as a character. And I like the character growth. I like the fact that now, you know, he cries less, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, because it shows that he's maturing. So I don't get it, but this movie, I like Midoriya in this movie. Now, Bakugo. Bakugo is crazy in this movie. Like, the scenes that Bakugo was in was incredible. Like, every time this guy showed face on screen, he was on smoke throughout the whole movie. No pun intended. But he was literally like, if he's not cussing someone out, he's either, you know, taking charge. He's actually, yeah, they're taking charge. There was one point in the movie where he was actually telling Momo and Tenya what to do. He was like, yo, break off into this team, break off into this. You know, like, I was thinking to myself, Bakugo's come far, man. He has actually come far. His hero name is still gonna get me. I can't remember what it's called, like explosive something something. Yeah, I don't know. His hero name's always gonna be funny. But nah, honestly, like, Bakugo in this movie should have had a lot more screen time than he did. Like, he showed up here and there in the movie to give his little one-liners, make the crowd laugh, and then at the very end he kind of gave his, like, you know, because he contributed to the final fight, I think they had to, you know, bring him in there, show face a bit more. But yeah, Todoroki now. Todoroki really, he didn't do much in the movie apart from the very end and the final fight, like I said with Bakugo. Like, he showed face, he gave his one-liners, but he had less lines than Bakugo, I think. And I think, obviously, he doesn't really contribute much to the story like Midoriya, but it's like, in the last movie, at least he kind of contributed a bit more, you know. In World's Heroes Mission, he did contribute a bit more, and you got to see him a bit more, like the big three, you know. But because of the plot story, and they wanted to introduce a lot more new characters and stuff like that, hero-wise, I guess, well, hero and villain-wise, I guess there wasn't much room for him, I guess, but like, I'm glad he was at the very end, but I did want to see more Todoroki in that movie, 100%. You guys, let me know if you agree.
It's no use!
Okay, so the new characters introduced on the good side would be Anna and Julio. Now, Julio is a butler to Anna. Anna is a teen girl, rich, wealthy teen girl that lives in a mansion, blah, 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 with her, I think her father, I believe. And yeah, so her father stumbled upon Julio. Julio had a bad background and whatnot, and was a bit poor. I think so. I think he was like poor or whatever the case may be. Stumbled upon their family and became Anna's butler, or became their family's butler, and lived to serve Anna. And Julio has a quirk that kind of erases other quirks for a limited time, but I think he has to touch them in order to erase the quirk, but only for like a short period of time. Then you've got Anna. Anna now, obviously, like I said, she's rich and wealthy. She has a quirk also, and her quirk amplifies other quirks. So yeah, it amplifies other quirks, kind of like Ari's. But the only thing is, the gimmick is with her quirk now, it can also, if you're not compatible with the quirk, then it could knock you out. Basically, you start seeing thorns and then you get knocked out, because it happened to quite a few people in the movie that touched her. So if you touch her and you're not compatible with her, you do end up getting knocked out, start seeing rose petals and thorns and whatnot, and then get knocked out. But if you're compatible, it enhances your quirk, kind of like Ari's quirk, basically. Yeah, those two, so you can see the dynamic between those two. And on a side note as well, her quirk kind of hurts her, I think. Like, if she doesn't use a certain amount of it, it kind of hurts her. So Julio kind of erases it for a while, so it would stop hurting her. And yeah, that's the dynamic between them. So she kind of needs Julio to stop her suffering and whatnot. And that's where they kind of bond together, because Julio's always there to help her, this, that, and the other, you know? But then, yeah, soon after, the villains end up kidnapping her, and then that's when the movie kind of takes place. So yeah, they storm the house, kidnap her, beat Julio up, and then Julio's left with like mechanical arm and mechanical leg, and then that's where the movie kind of starts, because it kind of does a flashback of when they were, together. Then it starts when the movie starts, when he's chasing after her. And one thing she did say is, if her quirk ever gets out of control or in the wrong hands, to off her, basically. Yeah, so basically travels throughout the movie trying to off her, but obviously Midoriya gets in the way, the heroes get in the way, the villains get in the way, so yeah.
White's appearance, but that definitely isn't him. Using violence!
Alright, so to talk about the big bad of the movie, Valdo Golini. So, yeah, basically, he's the big bad in the movie. Like I said before, his motives were, he watched that clip of All Might versus One for All. When All Might pointed at the camera and said, "You're next," he took that as he's gonna be the next villain, he's gonna be this, he's gonna be All Might's successor, blah 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 blah, and he was driven with that throughout the movie. He even changed his face to look like All Might, talks like All Might, dresses like All Might throughout the movie, and then really shows how strong he is actually throughout the movie, because he has a quirk, and his quirk, I think, is matter manipulation, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he flips this coin and he can turn it into whatever he wants it to be, basically. And I don't know if it's just a coin, or if he touches something, he can just turn it into whatever he wants. But every time I see it, he flips a coin, and then like he can create like a giant fireballs and stuff like that he was using throughout the movie to like punch the heroes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he just can, either he manipulates the matter of the coin, or he can just manipulate matter in general, but I'm pretty sure it's just matter in general, sorry. So yeah, he then goes to seek out Anna to enhance his quirk and basically manipulate the whole world into believing he's, the next successor for All Might, and basically transforms the world into what he wants it to be. He has a statue built in himself and all that other stuff. So yeah, to be honest, he was a pretty menacing villain. At times I was like, he is ridiculously strong at times. I was like, okay, the fact that he's like slapping around Midoriya and Bakugo at the very end and stuff like that, I was thinking to myself, okay, he's pretty strong. Like, he was taking on all three of them. So by right, he's a strong villain, but I'm pretty sure that's because he was enhanced by Anna. I don't know how he still seems pretty strong even when he's not enhanced by Anna. So yeah, he was a pretty strong villain. He couldn't pass for an all as strong as All Might, but he was strong enough to take on Bakugo, Todoroki, and Midoriya. So yeah, I like the villain. It wasn't like top tier villain, but I like the villain. He was good. He gets a name change at the very middle of the movie, basically. He calls himself Dark Might afterwards, so I thought that was kind of a funny touch to it. But when he shows up, you can definitely tell, he's pretty strong. Because there's times when he would just pop up just to say hey to Midoriya or whatnot, just to show face, show that he still has Anna and stuff like that. And then Midoriya would try and like hit him, and literally he would just flick Midoriya away like nothing. So yeah, generally he seems like a pretty strong, menacing villain. So I give him a 7.5 as well. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. Okay, so Dark Might does have a couple villains in the movie that, couple henchmen, in the movie that basically have pretty significant quirks. They have a significant amount of screen time. these guys, I don't know their names, but one of them slows down time in a certain area. So you can create a bubble around a certain area, slow down time within it. And he seemed pretty strong and menacing. Every time he showed up, you're like, oh, okay, here we go now. How is the hero going to get out of this situation? What is he going to do to overcome the time thing? And then you've got the other henchman, sorry, and this is a female. She basically can mind control people. From what it looks like, mind controls people. And she basically mind controls Ari throughout the whole... I said Ari. Mind control Anna throughout the whole movie. So, yeah, we didn't really get to see too much of Anna's personality, but when we did get to see Anna's personality, like flashbacks or towards the end of the movie, or when they broke her free of the mind control at a certain point in the movie, she just has one of those, happy-go-jolly, sweet, soft-hearted girl, personalities, to be honest. So, yeah. There wasn't really much to talk about Anna with when it comes to personality-wise. The henchmen were pretty menacing when they showed up. Obviously taken out by the heroes pretty quick when they figured out what was catching on. They weren't too strong because their quirks were more like technical quirks. They weren't really like powerhouse quirks.
This loser messed with the wrong class!
Are you forgetting? We're heroes.
Other side characters, heroes and villains, yeah, we did get to see, Endeavor. Endeavor showed up, which was pretty cool. The pro hero showed up, Endeavor and all of that. All Might was obviously there. You know what? We need to have a movie that brings back All Might. Somehow All Might gets his quirk back, and we get to see him fight one last time. I know he's broken, but come on, man, it's All Might. I kind of want to see All Might in action again. Like, I actually liked All Might, and then when my friend got me started on My Hero, like, I was thinking, you know what, All Might's gonna be a serious character. When I found out the first 7 episodes he's about to lose his quirk, I'm like, okay, yeah, you couldn't really keep All Might in there because he was just too strong. But it's like, I do want to see All Might again. But yeah, we have All Might, obviously. We've got Endeavor, like I said before. Endeavor shows up and basically just shows that he's the powerhouse now. Like, shows that he is the guy. The boy came out and just did his thing, showed his worth. You had Hawks in there. Hawks did his little scout thing that he would normally do. Mirio showed up, but Mirio showed up as support for Class 1A. He kind of showed up just to help guide them. Obviously, Class A, Tenya, Momo, Asui and all that, they had their moments. Kaminari, Kirishima and stuff like that, they had their moments. They showed up, did their bits. But other than that, yeah, Mount Lady, help with support and stuff like that. But yeah, they kind of just showed face, and then they were just sprinkled out throughout the movie. Alright guys, time for the big score. What do I rate this movie now? Like I said, quickly going over everything, the story I think was a decent story. The action was pretty good. There was you can tell they threw their money at the very end, the budget at the very end, but the action throughout the movie was pretty damn good, I would say. It kept you engaged, and that's what I love about movies. If they keep you engaged and they keep you knowing, like I said, I keep bringing up that scene when they were in the tunnel. I knew that there was stuff gonna happen in that tunnel, and when they got out of that tunnel, shit was gonna go down. So it was like, for me, it was like, okay, there's no point looking away, or I gotta stay engaged because it's like something's gonna happen. And if a movie can do that throughout the whole thing, then it's a damn good movie. It's done its job. So I'm gonna say, and then the action at the end was really good to me. Like, you could see where they put their money, and the jokes, they were funny. I actually like the dynamic between obviously Bakugo and his team, and him just being Bakugo, and then the dynamic between Julio and Deku, because when they first met, it was like Julio was so blunt with Deku. He was like, listen, the only reason why you're here is the fact that I need you. That's it. I don't need to know your name or any of that. You just bring contribution. Like, you contribute by bringing power to the team. That's it. Do your thing and then get lost. But then obviously, Midoriya bees Midoriya, starts, opening up to him. He starts opening up to Midoriya, and, the butler and Midoriya start, forming a little friendship. But overall, I'm gonna say, and then the villain as well, Dark Might, it was a decent villain. I don't see anything wrong. He just had, his mentality was he was gonna be this next successor. He kind of set out to do that, try and gaslight the world. So I'm gonna say, alright, I'm gonna give this Now you may disagree, but like I said, be respectful in the comment section. Just leave your opinion, leave your overall review. I'm going to say 8.1. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.1, and that's rating it, I would say, moderate. Not too harsh, not too easygoing, but moderate. Like, I'm gonna give it an 8.1 because it was a good movie, and ranking it amongst all the rest of the My Hero movies, it was a good movie. It was one of the better My Hero movies. Facts. So yeah, 8.1.
I won't let you hurt her.
So guys, this has been my review of My Hero Academia, your next movie. Now, guys, spam out the comment section. Tell me what you liked, disliked about the movie. Tell me, your favorite characters, who stood out to you the most, your favorite action scene. Just let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, guys, this has been Anime Talks. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Stay saucy, stay sweet, and I will catch you in the next video in a bit.